All right, today let's take a look at another iteration, call it version 2 of my Taunt Warrior. The big reason why this is doing so good right now in the current meta is Endbringer. The new card that they're bringing in to essentially the next season, one of the cards that they're bringing in now, allows it to trigger 5 Deathrattles. The whole point of this is you're trying to combo this with the Testing Dummy. Using the Testing Dummy allows it to, late game, be able to trigger. If you could trigger this 5 times, that's 40 raw damage going at their face. And there's tons of different ways to get the Testing Dummy to trigger. So some of the big ways is you're going to use Wreck'em Deck'em. That's going to summon a copy, and then it's going to die, and boom, now another 8 damage. You use the Boom Wrench, which is going to, that's essentially with 2 Boom Wrenches, that's 4 different times you could trigger a Death Rattle. Then you're going to use the Inventor Boom to bring it back out. So you don't necessarily have to play the card where Boom Wrench, where it actually triggers it, that counts towards the Endbringer for late game, just so you know. I'm going to talk about exactly what cards I got for the deck and where you could change the cards based off the iterations of where you're at within the meta. So depending on what rank you are is what kind of decks you're going to be facing. This deck I've been running pretty much between a high 50 to low 60 win rate over a 10 game span. I'm just going to throw and show you 3 games, no matter what, not edit them, in the sense of as long as they're different. I want to have it to be like warrior, rogue, something, so you see 3 different mindsets of why I choose different cards during different times. But other than that, I'm going to show you exactly how I do it, win or lose. I'm going to show you. So starting off, this is a card you could swap out, but Dirty Rat, many decks the Dirty Rat can just destroy. If I could pull out a Kill Jaden, or there's so many examples, I could really do some damage. Now where it does suck is if you play a deck like mine. If I use a Dirty Rat and I pull out a Ziliax or a Testing Dummy, that's not very good. So you do gotta be careful. I like to combo the Dirty Rat with the Brawl, so late game, but it can be used to really destroy a lot of decks. So I highly recommend the Dirty Rat. You could swap that out. Quality of Assurance, which is nice, going to bring out 2 Taunt minions. Shield block for the extra damage to draw a card. The Boom Wrench, this is massive. That's what's going to be able to trigger so many different things. Mixologist, you could swap these out. I really like that, especially right now. I would say 70% of the decks are early game burst, like the Priest and the Rogue. And those are the highest win rates right now. So this is kind of a counter to them, because one, you could do like a board wipe where it does 2 damage to everything on the board, but also you have the chance where it brings back something that died this game. And if you have one of your higher level mobs that were monsters that were out there, that does a ton of damage. Tortella Traveler, you're just trying to get the taunts out. Wreck'em Deck'em, that's what you're going to use on the Testing Dummy or the Safety Expert to be able to trigger them. With the Nightmare Lord, you want to be able to get anything reborn or where it summons like a 2/2 copy of the monster. Ideally, you want it on the Testing Dummy. Worst case, the Safety Expert. I'll talk more Safety Expert in a minute. Royal Librarian, I've been putting this in here. I've been testing this one out. It has saved me a lot of times. Late game when they boost something up, or I know with a Druid deck, there's this one 5-drop minion that is just impossible to get off the board. So to be able to silence it and be able to burst through can win you the game. 2 Brawls. Chemical Spills. The Chemical Spills are going to bring in the Tortella, Safety Expert, or Ziliax. The Gnome, this one is something you could swap out. Same with the Royal Librarian. The downside with the Safe Pilot here is the Endbringer will trigger with this, so that's not ideal. I'd rather trigger 5 Testing Dummies, but this is nice to be able to give a nice other board wipe. The Ham of the Hungry, to be able to then use the hydration stations. The Testing Dummy, which is the main character of this entire build. The Endbringer, the great addition that makes this so much stronger. Inventor Boom, which is absurd, amazing, brings back a Testing Dummy or a Safety Expert or a Ziliax. Huge. It attacks and then you could use it again. Ziliax, I like to use the one that gives the poisonous instead of the 2 copies, for the fact that most times when I use this, I'm either pulling it out by chemical spill or the Hydration Station or Inventor Boom, it's only going to summon one copy anyways. If you were to raw just straight drop it for the 9 drop, yeah, you could get 6 extra health if you had a separate copy. I like to go this way with it. 2 of the Hydration Stations, 1 of the Safety Experts, and Tortella. So some of the variations, like I said, you could get rid of the Dirty Rat. You could get rid of the Mixologist. You could get rid of the Royal Librarian. You could get rid of the Safe Pilot and swap in different things. There's a 2-drop that swaps the health of the minions as far as that goes. So if I look at that, so I could easily put the Crazed Alchemist in, and then hopefully when a Tortella's down, I swap the Crazed Alchemist, hit for 30. In like 30 games, I've only actually had that happen once. Most of the time, they have taunt minions out, so there's something in the way to prevent you from being able to do that, or they brought the health down of the Tortella. Hopefully I'm saying that right, whatever. So I don't know. That's not the best. You could throw in different cards like Bash. I'm not a big fan of being able to... So some of the variations of the cards I showed you and what you could swap in. You could swap in I Know a Guy. You could swap in Bash. You could swap in Shield Bash. You could swap in a different variation, which I'll showcase a whole different video on, is using Parts Scrapper and the Safety Goggles to be able to get Testing Dummy out faster. I don't find it to be that great. All You Can Eat, I don't really like it. Personally, you don't really have a problem with getting mobs in your hand or cards in your hand. It's really just drawing the game out to be able to play them. So that's where like the Bulwark might not be a bad option. Might be able to play this instead of the Safe Pilot to kind of buy yourself some early game pressure. That's not a bad option. I would try to stay lower cards if you are going to swap stuff out, because some of the higher cards, you have a lot of higher cards already in your deck. You need those early cards to be able to handle that early game burst. But let's jump right into it and showcase exactly how this plays out. Let's see who our worthy opponent is. Okay, a Paladin. So there's 2 different versions of the Paladins currently in this meta. They're either going to try to put a bunch of stuff into their deck and draw out the dragons, or draw out the different dragon drops. That's probably the most popular. There's also right now a high win rate in Legend is one where they boost up the field and be able to do like early game pressure. So we'll see what they got. So if you don't have HS Replay, that's what I currently have. I bought for $25 a year, but it lets me know which type of mulligans I should do with the highest win rates and different things of that sort. I also like to take in consideration what I'm actually facing against. So realistically, I'm not going to be using Boom Deck for a Boom Wrench for a while. Shield is nice, and I don't need Inventor Boom. So I know he's going to create a lot of early game pressure. So I want Mixologist. I want my Chemical Spill. I want different things to be able to handle. Okay, so this is where he's going to do an Imbue one. So this one is not bad if I have the Safety Expert, which I do in this deck, because he's going to want to summon different portals and different things. Like when he would have done this, or different cards where it draws some from the deck, if I have instead the Safety Expert, he's going to be drawing my bombs. So it's a great counter for this, but he can ramp up very quickly, so I do got to be very careful. So I did get a Chemical Spill, so I don't have anything that I really want to draw with it right now. So thinking of this, I could use a shield block, but it's kind of pointless. I would rather just use the free armor and save these for a little bit later on, because it's not like, no matter what it gives me, there's nothing that is going to impact facing him right now. So instead, I would rather go this direction. Let's see. Now I'm thinking, do I go coin into the Lord? I have a Brawl, so that's going to help if he does get a ton in for late game. So that's not bad. Do I just kind of play this slow? Do I go... Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to play this slow. So ideally next turn, I'm going to go into Nightmare. Hopefully get one of my high-level monsters. So then turn 5, I can go Spill Station or Chemical Spill. Okay, draw 2 minions. Okay. So I would rather this go late game. This deck definitely excels more towards late game, I would say. So let's go into the lore. Let's see what we get. So I want something with Reborn or 2/2. Okay, Reborn, that's terrible. Oh, look at this. Oh, yes. So if I didn't get something like this wouldn't be bad, lowering the cost, because I'm not looking for the original damage of it, but I wanted the cost less. But in this scenario, Testing Dummy is amazing. So I want to make sure I don't have too many cards in my hand. So I have 9. But this is also going to put out a 2/2. Oh, that's so strong. That's a lot of damage. And what's amazing with the 2/2, I'd rather over the Reborn, I guess it doesn't matter either way, is that then it also lets me use the Wreck'em Deck'em to get even more damage out. Okay. That's an interesting card, the Metal Detector. I feel like he's not boosting up his deck. He's using a different variation I haven't really seen ran as much. But let's see how this plays out here. Right now, it's not looking very good for him. So I'm not going to use the Chemical Spill. If anything, I'm going to do a coin into the Testing Dummy. That's huge. So, I mean, there's really not a good response unless he has some sort of way to silence or kill it of that sort. We're going to be doing a lot of extra damage. Like I said, there's a high chance I'm going to be able to use the Wreck'em Deck'em. Okay, so he's more of an early game. So the version he's going with is actually more of an early game version, and this is, I think, the second highest win rate currently in Legend and above. Okay, so let's see. So what's he gonna actually do? Your spells that cast 2 cost 2 less, or cast twice. All right. So yeah, he's pumping it up. Go ahead, keep pumping. What you got? I'm not too concerned. Hopefully I get some damage off here. I need to hit this. Yep, boom. Okay, perfect. That's exactly what I needed. So he's gonna coin and shield it up again. That's annoying. Hopefully he doesn't kill it. I don't want him to kill it yet. Okay, that's not good. Not good at all. Okay. Perfect. So I was worried he wasn't going to play the second one. This is perfect scenario for a brawl. Hopefully I get one of these survive. Do I go brawl? I almost want to wait. Wait on the brawl. Because what I'm thinking about is... Yeah, let's go brawl. So let's go hit there. Let's go brawl. Nothing I could do. Let's see what I got. Perfect. I couldn't ask for anything better. Killed everything. Just completely destroyed that deck right there. Now, he could have gotten 8/8 back, but now if he would have kept his 1 that be able to pump things up, that could have been a problem. That's why Brawl is so strong, depending on the deck. It shows it as a low mulligan rate. I like to just make sure I have it in my hand because I've ran into so many scenarios where it's helped. Okay, let's see. So he's going to try to pump these up. Your opponent's spells. 1 more. Okay, not terrible. Not terrible at all. So I just want to kill these as quick so he can't pump them up, because I know that's what he wants to do in this hand. Normally I wouldn't care, but okay. So it doesn't completely board wipe. That's fine. Not a problem. Okay. Board wiped himself. Yep. That can be a problem. Yeah, that's a problem. See, that's strong right there. To be able to pump out. Like, that's lethal right there. Okay. How do I want to play this? I was not expecting for him to be able to, for 1 mana, be able to pop out all of that. That's why this deck is strong. Right here. That's exactly why. Okay. Let's go draw a card. Testing Dummy. I can't even play my Testing Dummy. So the only other thing I could really do, Tortella into there. So it's gonna get dicey here. It's gonna get dicey. Let's see. I need this to actually pull out my big Tortella maybe. I need another brawl. That's a problem. Alright, he's got everything. He's got everything on the board. There's his hand. If I can get a brawl, it's game over. There's Tortella. That's good. That gets me, that'll buy me some time. Not a whole lot of time. But it'll definitely buy me one or 2 times. Okay, so chemical spill in the Tortella. Do I silence just to get another minion out? Oh no. Epic fail. There's nothing I could do. I didn't realize. Oh man. So if I would have got the Tortella out, so that's just terrible luck. I didn't realize. I didn't even think about that guy being in my hand. Alright, we're going with another Paladin here. Let's see what we can do versus Paladin. 2 different Paladin decks that he's going to be running. There is the highest win rate in Legend, which is like a pump-up Paladin. We'll see what he actually builds. He could either be going with the Imbued Paladin, which I pretty much would rather, or he could be going more towards like kind of a boost where he uses a bunch of cards. Okay, so he's going with the Imbued Paladin. I know this because he used this. That's not in the other one. So the Imbued Paladin, not as much of a worry. Still a good deck. Don't get me wrong. I think that's what I actually ended up getting Legend with last season. That's how I got there. And then once I got the Legend, it kind of fell off. Solid deck. But the other Paladin deck right now, which is more of like an early game burst, where it's using a bunch of cards to boost up your minions on the board. I think that's actually a little bit stronger versus the current deck I'm playing. So we'll see. Let's see what we got. Okay, so trigger the battle cry twice. Not bad. Do I want to get a 2/2? I actually would rather this. I want to be able to destroy 2 at a time. That'd be stronger. I don't want to use this up. I want to save this for when I get the Testing Dummy down. I would have rathered a 2/2 of the Testing Dummy or a 2/2 of anything else. Like a Reborn on the Ziliax. Like there's so many different scenarios that I would have rathered. But that's okay. Let's see what we can play. So right now I need something to play next turn, or I'm not. It's going to be a waste of a turn. Let's see. Perfect. Excellent. So Mixologist. Summon a friendly minion. This is probably one of the best ones I could get. And then other than that, I could boost my minions up, or I could go a little bit more damage. I would say go more damage. Perfect. Perfect. So I obviously, I almost messed up there. I want to armor up. I want to wait and play this a little bit late game because right now the Nightmare Lord is what it would summon back up. A 4/4, not bad. You know, I could have easily popped that just to have a little extra damage. But realistically, I wanted to be able to pull some of my other things, my Ziliax, my Tortellia, my Testing Dummy. There's so many other things that I could actually pull. Now with the Imbue, if I get my safety expert, I could put bombs in the deck, and when he uses cards like this where it pulls something that didn't start in the deck, it would pull my bomb instead of pulling one of these guys. So nice way to go around it. But for now, I don't feel like I'm in much danger yet. So let's go with this guy here, and I'm actually going to kill it. So then if he kills either of these, it still kills it. Oh, that is huge. Oh, that is such a big part of his deck. That's why this card is solid. Depending on, like, for early game, if you're facing like an early game deck that's doing a lot of little damage, it's not as impactful for. But killing that card is just huge. Now, there is still a way that he can get one of them with using his, what is it, the Way Watcher could pull it back out. But that is huge of what combos for his deck. So, it's not looking good for him. So right now, I don't want to use Brawl until he has a lot more on his field. What I could do, though, now let's see. Okay, not terrible. I'm trying to think how I want to play this here. I almost want to slow play this into a Brawl, into a bunch of wrenches. So I could do like a Tortella, but then I gotta watch how many cards I have in my hand. So I have 10 cards in my hand, so actually I don't want to go that direction. So I want to play this now so I don't overdraw myself. So I could hit with this, or I could swap out right now to get the 8 damage out on the field. Hit and get more. So I was able to get 16 damage instead of just 8 by doing that direction. It's unfortunate. I probably should have hit this once. I mean, that's the kind of the gamble. Him getting a random dragon I'm not too worried about, depending on what type of dragon it is. Because it could kind of fill his hand up with stuff that's not very good. Because right now what he has 10 cards in. So now you're starting to see the damage hit. Okay, so I don't want to use Inventor Boom yet because it's only Testing Dummy. So could I get lucky and it's what, a 50% chance? Let me see here. So if I go here, let's go shield. Let's go armor up. And I think I am. I'm going to do 3 damage and hope. Nope. See, I got burnt. So I should have waited a little bit longer. So I didn't realize I forgot about Mixologist. So there's only a 33% chance really to get the Testing Dummy. The later you wait, the higher the chances that it summons something that you actually want. So it's unfortunate. Kind of wasted that one. I did maximize my crystals, but eh. So here is where the safety expert, if I can get this bad boy out, I could do some nice damage because he's going to draw into it. Okay. This is where I'm trying to hold my Brawl. Maybe one more turn if I could. Oh, actually, I could do a Dirty Rat into a Brawl. Or do I hold off? I feel like those cards, like, it's not lethal yet. I think instead I'll go like this. I'm going to go into a Zilliax. Apologize if I say cards wrong. I'm terrible at it. It is what it is. Okay, so got some life there. I'm just buying time. Just buying time. Hydration station. I'm setting up for that late game. I might go safety expert into the Inventor Boom. Eating up that one card really messes him up. Now, here we go. So if he gets that card back, that we could be in some problems. Depending on what card he chooses right here. If he gets the one, the Ursula or whatever the hell it is, we could be in some trouble. Because it does, 10 damage each turn, wiping out and healing them back. So this could be make or break here. Let's see what he's got. Come on. What you got? What you got? Do you have it? There's a couple good cards he could pick. He's holding it. If he had it, I feel like he would play it now. This makes me really want to dirty rat him into it. Can I get it? Nope, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. Okay. Only problem with playing Tortella versus him is he could drop everything to 1 health and wipe it out. So that becomes a problem. I feel like instead I'm going to go safety expert. Not ideal. It does wipe out a little bit here. I'm going to take some damage. I know if I put Tortella down, he's just going to drop everything to 1 health, which wouldn't be terrible because then I could play the hydration pretty much next turn right after it. There is a chance where he has killed Jaden, where he'll hold it to the very end after, he shuffles all of his cards. He only has 5 drops, so he hasn't been playing it that much. Okay, so that's what he went with. That's what he pulled with the Way Watcher. Okay. Okay. Still not too worried. Now, I do wish I could get over 10 mana crystals for a scenario like this, because then I could do Inventor Boom into a Recum Decum. I don't have that ability. Alright, so he's loading his board up. Awesome. So there's the card he would have used. Alright, that's a problem. That's a problem. Ooh, I didn't foresee this coming. I mean, the only option I have so if he has, which he probably does, Renewing Flame, if he has the Renewing Flame in his hand, then I'm dead. Actually, I'm dead either way. That's unfortunate. Unfortunate. Ugh, that's so frustrating. Yeah. The Imbue, that's how I got the legend. That deck is very strong. So, not gonna lie. Paladin is strong. Both versions of Paladins are very strong. Whew. 0 for 2. Let's see. Can we go 1 for 3, or are we just going to go 0 for 3? I promise you, I did 10 games of this, and the first game we should have won. The second one, I mean, we actually had some good luck. That's just a strong deck. Let's see what we can do for the third game. See if we can't turn this thing around. So we're going against a priest. So a priest 9 times out of 10 is going for the quick game. He's going to go for a lot of early burst. So he does have something that could silence. Oh, can I make it to turn 5? So I'm going to gamble on this one. Keep these 2 in my hand. The reason why, I'm going to try for the chemical spill into Tortolia and hope for the best. The other alternative for quick decks, like he has, is the Mixologist or in a Brawl. Those are your other 2 options to go against this. Okay, let's see. I want to try to save my coin to be able to get a chemical spill a little bit earlier. But they do run silences in those decks, so let's see what we could do. So I'm trying to debate. I feel like I just went raw armor up instead of the shield block because I already know what I want to do. I want to turn 4 into the chemical spill. I'm still frustrated. Paladins whooped our butt. Both Paladin decks. Not just, the same one. We got whooped by both. This deck is starting to look like it's crap. But I swear it's not. I swear. Okay, so let's go. We could go health, kind of live it out. I'm going to go Boom Wrench and take out his healing. So then maybe turn 6, I go into Testing Dummy. So he's playing a little bit slower than normal. He just drew the cards though, so that doesn't help. Alright, so let's see what he's got. Let's see what he's got here. Does he have a way to get through it? If he doesn't have a silence or an automatic kill, then, okay, makes me think he doesn't. That will get me some extra armor. That's going to buy me time. That's what I needed. This guy's just slowing shit down, buying me time. Okay, okay. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Alright, so do I want more taunt? Do I want to go this direction? I feel like there's really no taunts that I currently need right this moment. I'd rather go here. And I like the free armor. I'm trying to think. I feel like I need to kill his field a little bit, because he does have some ways to pump the field up. He has that 1/3 drop that pumps the field. So, yeah, would I hit face? Yeah. But he has different ways to heal up anyway, so I don't think it's worth. I'm just trying to do to the long game, not really. I'm just protecting the early game is why I'm going that direction. Okay. Not too worried about that. Let's see what I draw out of there. Perfect. Excellent. Excelente. Alright, let's go here. This is where the safe pilot comes into play. In these early rush games like this, that he's trying to burst through me, this is it. This time I'll actually go to face. Alright, this is strong. Strong game. Probability of us winning, very high. Let's see, will luck change for him? Let's see. Okay, not a normal card to play in that deck. Okay, so he has too many small level cards, so I'm not going to get some lucky one. The chance is very low. Instead, though, what I can do, Testing Dummy, okay? Then we're going to go into the Boom Wrench, automatically trigger. Perfect. Use the Boom Wrench, and then I'm going to attack here. That's what I'm talking about. I'd be shocked if he doesn't forfeit. What's he got? What's he got? There it is. There it is. And I didn't even showcase the other testing dummy and everything else. This deck does great versus the meta for fast, drops. The priest, the rogue, usually the rogue. I know I lost on the one. But this does great during the early game. Some of the late game it does struggle versus more of the paladins. But 1 for 3, not terrible. Like I said, there are some variations that you could do within this deck. Swapping out, you could be swapping out. Let me go in so you could see. Like I said, you could swap out the dirty rats. You could swap out the mixologists, the royal librarians. You could get rid of the safety experts if the whatever version you're in has maybe a ton of Kill Jadens and you never get the use out of those. There's definitely some variations to play with depending on where you're at within the rank ladder. But I hope this was helpful. Love to hear your comments below. Like I said, I don't sugarcoat it. I'm going to show you 3 games, show you exactly did I win, did I lose, what I did wrong. Sometimes it's out of your hands. You know what I mean? That's why you got to play so many games to get a like an actual win rate. I did this over 10 games, and I usually am over 60% win. So I'm going to climb the ladder with this. But check out my other videos for other variations to this and other decks other than just Warrior. Hopefully it was helpful. I'll check the comments below, and until next time, game on.